us, and thank you for your contribution.
Absolutely. My pleasure, man. It's an honor.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about the piece that you contributed in some of your work to the world of graffiti and style writing. And so here is the exhibition. One of the walls in the exhibition as it stands. I know you haven't seen it yet, but this is what it looks like. It's 33 artists that have contributed their protest statement. And yours says, "Fight Corruption."
That's right.
Which is a beautiful jacket. I love that you added not only the hand-painted sort of, centerpiece, but the words around it, the patches, and you really got into the details of it. And that you chose a black jacket is also very, very nice touch. Can you tell us a little bit about, the message behind this and what you wanted to communicate, obviously, and also, the names and just your thought process around this piece?
Well, when you first invited me to do the jacket, and I was given one of the jackets, automatically, like my mind kicked into like designing mode, and I had a little bit of experience in fashion design back in early 2002, 2003, when I lived in NYC, and I was a junior designer at Sean John working with Dash FC. And so, my gears started clicking, and then I was like, I want to do something because it's the Black Lives Matter movement, and the whole concept. So I was like, I need a black jacket. That was the first thing that popped into my head. And then as ideas are starting coming to me, I'm like, man, I'm trying to figure out a wordplay to put FC somewhere in there. So then I came up with, Fight Corruption, just kind of like dawned on me. And then all the names started coming to me of everyone who fought, corruption and fought against the system and all that. So of course, the jacket and the centerpiece has all the names written in hand style in the background, Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton, very predominant names that are, immortalized in when you talk about civil rights movement, when you talk about, freedom from slavery, those names are there honored. And then they all kind of like come together like a fist and, make that symbol of the Black Power fist with the Pan-African colors that were made famous by Marcus Garvey, So that was like the whole concept just kind of like piece by piece started coming to me,
No, I love it. I love the iconography. Here you see the fist that's so well known now. Today, we lost a civil rights leader, John Lewis. Rest in peace. And here you see John Lewis with the red, black, and green. And so it's really poignant, really well thought out piece that really speaks to this moment in time and to the fight for civil rights. And so I really love the piece. And by the way, someone purchased that piece today.
Thank you. I purchased it. Thank you. I know I was going to find a good home somewhere,
Yeah, and someone's going to wear it. And that piece is a living piece of protest art. And so that's going to really, communicate to people that, that they're down with the struggle. They're down with racial equality, and they're down with, they're against oppression.
That's
and so,
right.
And just, I know we don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to share with some folks one of my favorite pieces and one of my favorite walls that you painted years back, which is also very poignant and important to share, which is this wall.
That's right. Yeah.
So this wall was in Wynwood a few years back. Can you tell us a little bit about this piece and what was the sentiment? Because I see here you have the police, in riot gear, and I see a Molotov cocktail. Can you break this down for us, please?
Yeah, well, the scene on the top that you see, you know, hovering over the pieces, is actually a photograph that was taken by a photographer named Josh Lazy. He was at an actual protest and an actual riot in Egypt when Egypt was fighting for their liberation from their corrupt regime. And he was there in ground zero, you know, boots on the ground, taking pictures of this. And he's a really good friend of Muck Rock. So, you know, she kind of like we were collaborating and we're kind of coming up with concepts on the spot. And she pulls out this picture and we're like, that's it right there. You got to do this. You know, we have to do this. This needs to be done. And then, you know, she went to work and she's amazing. You know, she got up there and she painted that whole scene up there like by herself on a ladder. And we were like, you know, helping her fill in here and there, but you know, she's a beast. So she, you know, tackled that and rendered that really well. And then the pieces, were like, we need a little bit of militancy, you know what I'm saying? Because this is like, it's a very, you know, provocative picture that, you know, it kind of like shows the Molotov cocktail thrown in between them. And it shows the rioters kind of like in riot gear with helmets pushing back at the police. And it's kind of like symbolism of pushing against the status quo, you know, and against corruption by all means necessary. Even if you know, die in the fight, you know, at least you fought and you know, fought for something instead of dying, you know, on your knees for nothing. So, and then the fatigues are kind of, we all dressed our pieces up in that battle mode, in that battle gear with the different camouflage aspects of the pieces.
Can you tell me a little bit also in one of the protesters peeking out of the denim jacket is a tattoo that says Dems.
That's right. Yep. You know, coincidentally, that wall, when we were getting ready to paint it, there was a lot of tributes for Dems that year because he you know, lost his life to unnecessarily to police brutality, and he was a young writer, and you know, he was just putting his name up on the wall like we all do, and for him to, you know, be chased down with a cop car and struck and, you know, killed that way, almost like an animal, like, you know, just like with no love and no mercy, is we felt like, you know, we need to somehow pay a tribute to him in that manner. So, you know, Mug rendered the dope tat on the arm of one of the protesters there with his name. So, and his family, you know, reached out to us and they were, you know, very grateful, and, you know, they loved the piece and how we paid tribute and homage to him. So, and I believe there's also a Lacey tag up in one of the helmets.
Yep.
Because it was his picture. Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I think that you know in the piece that you have here that you shared, and in the work that you created, you're honoring folks, and it's very important for us to understand that the moment in time that we exist right now is possible because of some of these men and women whose lives have been lost and their sacrifice. And then when we look at ourselves beyond that as artists that paint the street, that it's, you know, everybody loves graffiti now. It's very popular. People don't hate us the way they used to hate us anymore. And so, but it's still very dangerous, right? Yeah. You know, painting in the street is very dangerous. Police are very dangerous. And, you know, we lose writers. People lose their lives due to violence in the street. And sometimes that violence is as a result of police brutality, which is very unfortunate. And we lose someone like Dems or other artists like Rifa, who also lost his life here in Miami. And so I wanted to show this so that people are aware that although it's very sweet and street art is popular right now, and even in Wynwood that is covered in murals, this young person lost his life in Wynwood when he was run down by the police. Tragic accident or murder, I don't know what it is, but it's a tragedy. And so, but I thank you guys for doing that wall and for continuing to develop and put out style pieces. You for always coming through and coming correct and burning whenever you show up to a wall. We all really appreciate you and the crew. You guys are style mechanics, and so we love seeing it when you do stuff in the neighborhood. And again, I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us today to talk about your contribution. We thank you for that. And when you get a moment, when you're not locked down or traveling, please come through and check out the show in person. I think you'll be very pleased with what we've assembled.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking fly. You know, everything looks awesome. You know, I also want to take the time to shout you guys out, you know, because, you know, you guys are kind of like, you know, carrying the torch and bringing awareness of our culture to the masses now in this age, you know, to a new generation through technology and reaching people out, you know, in that manner and keeping that alive, you know what I'm saying? So that's very important, the work that you guys are doing. You know, I'm thankful to be a part of it as well.
View, thank you so much, my brother. And everybody that's checking in with us, we're going to be talking to artists throughout the day. Every 30 minutes, a new artist is on. And so we're taking a quick break. We'll be back in the next 10 minutes with more insight into Fabric of America, Artists in Protest at the Museum of Graffiti. We're live on Instagram. We are live in person in real life. We are open until 5 p.m. today in Miami. If you're local, come through. If you're not and you're catching us around the world online, our website has the exhibition up in a virtual space. Check us out. There's wonderful work from artists here locally, as well as some great photography by Pablo Allison and others. And so thank you so much, VIEW2. Enjoy the rest of your day, and everybody will see you in a few minutes.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Peace.
Peace.